welcome back to another video of the channel. My name is Julio. Thanks for tuning in. Before we get started, like, subscribe, hit the notification button, and let's get down to business. So today we're going to be talking about SSH with Rotary. And you might ask yourself, what is that, Jay? I'm going to explain to you, but first, let me give you an inside scoop about what Cisco BTY stands for. Cisco BTY stands for Virtual Teletype, a command line interface that allows users to remotely access, configure, monitor, and manage a device's control plane. BTY lines are logical interfaces that are created in the device's software and do not correspond to a physical port. When a user connects to a device using a remote protocol like SSH or Telnet, the device allocates a BTY line to that session. Each BTY line can only accommodate one remote session at a time. Telnet and SSH are both network protocols that allow users to access a remote system as stated before, but SSH is more secure and is the preferred choice for public networks. SSH uses encryption to secure data transmissions over a network, while Telnet sends data in plain text. This makes SSH more resistant to security attacks and eavesdropping. So here are the commands that we're going to be injecting on our router for the purpose of this lab. All right, so the first thing we're going to be configuring is the radius authentication. And the purpose of this is that I want to show you that you can have radius authentication and also local authentication running on the same time. And that's where the IP SSH rotary comes into play. We're gonna assign the radius authentication to line BTY 0 to 4, and line BTY from 5 to 15 is gonna be dedicated for local authentication only. And we're gonna use a different port via SSH to access that line BTY 5 to 15. All right, so let me break it down to you. The first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna get inside the laptop or PC, lift up secure CRT, and we're gonna SSH towards that router using the radius credentials. The router is gonna send that request to the Windows radio server. The Windows radio server is gonna validate the credentials and the user that you're using. And if everything is correct, the radio server is gonna reply back to the router saying that the access is gonna be granted. And afterwards, we're gonna use port 2000, which is gonna be the port via SSH that we're gonna use to authenticate locally towards that router. All right, so without further ado, let's start configuring. And for the purpose of this lab, we're gonna be using Cisco 8000V, which is a virtual appliance that I have running on my VMware Fusion software. Let's get it, guys. All right, let's bring up the secure CRT and also the edit text with which I have the configuration. Let's log into the equipment now. Admin, password, enable, password. All right, we're good. Let's go to config T now. Let's copy and paste the radius configuration. Okay, we're good. Let's go to AAA now. We're gonna go AAA authentication, logging, RAS, that's the name that I'm naming it, group, RAS, which is the name of the radius server configuration that I have there, and then the fallback is gonna be local, and then authentication login term, local only. Let's do a show run, session AAA, just to make sure everything's there. Yeah, we're good, we're solid. IP SSH port 2000, rotary 1. We're gonna go now line BTY, oops, sometimes I just can't type. Line BTY 04, let me erase that. Logging authentication RAS. And then we're gonna go and input transport input SSH. That's to enable SSH. We go there. We're gonna go now to line BTY 515, which is gonna be our local authentication. I'm gonna name it term, which is the same name that I have there on the AAA as configured, Rotary 1. And then transport input SSH. All right, everything is in order. Let's do a show run session line BTY. We're solid there. Now we're gonna go ahead and exit. And I'm gonna use my radio's credentials, which is gonna be J Padilla, and my password. We're good. Alrighty. Show users, and as you can see, I'm there in the line BTY0, which is the first one. So we're solid there. Now let's go ahead and let's change the port in the properties to 2000. And as you can see, I can access the equipment via SSH using 2000, the port, and I use the local user, which is admin. And I want to show you where in the configuration is the username admin, and there you go. That's the only user that I have configured locally. If you're gonna do this as the way that I did, make sure you're in the lab environment, not in production, because you can lock yourself up, and that's not good. So I hope you like the video. If you like the content, please give it a like. And as always, this is Julio. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.